So, a few months ago, I uploaded a video to YouTube. The video went viral like in 24 hours. Before I uploaded the video, I knew it was gonna go viral because it was kind of addressing a subject that a lot of people want to talk about, or a subject that a lot of people feel this way, and it's basically how the music scene has been evolving, and it's not new that the old DJs kind of hate on the new DJs, and we're gonna get into that soon. But before, I would like to talk about the video I uploaded to TikTok, because basically all of my videos have like 200 views, and this one I knew before uploading it that it was gonna go viral, and like 24 hours later it was viral. And I'm just gonna play the video, but it's basically this girl that she seems attractive in a way, and she's pressing like a lot of buttons, but when you actually look at what she's pressing, she's not doing shit, you know. A lot of people might argue like, no, she's like tapping on the deck so she can count the tempos. Well, that's still kind of the same point. It's just like making a lot of movement, kind of show that you're doing something when you're actually not. And that's one of the biggest problems on electronic music these days. A lot of people are getting booed, not because of what they've been working on, but more of on their visual and branding. And I get it, there's always the need to have a good mix between both of them. For example, a friend kind of defended the girl, and I uploaded the video up, and he was like, she had to do something right in order to be booked. And while I do agree, I think that the problem is not kind of like with the girl or not, it's more with the bookers. And when the events start happening more of a business than an actual passion. And I get it, if you're a promoter and you're starting your festival or something, you need traffic, you need people to view your project, and what a better way to do it with a DJ influencer. So it's like a win-win in a way, but I think that it gets deeper than that. For example, let's talk about Boiler Room, the iconic parties that are recorded since many years ago, and they've been kind of showing true underground music that's well curated, and at least it shows a lot of years in work, right? A lot of years in preparation. And I've seen really weird or bad boiler rooms that are like 15 years old, but still, what's surprising to me is, for example, this Instagram profile. I just couldn't believe it, because for me, Boiler Room was like such a special thing, such an honor. Like, I looked up to the people that played there so much when I was younger. And then I'm like scrolling and I see this girl playing on TikTok. She's beautiful. And then I look back into her posts, and only a year like before, she has a video of or a picture, a post of her with a controller saying "my first controller." Only 1 year, and Boiler Room is supposed to be the best of the best, actually showing true talents, people that maybe haven't had the chance to show their true passion, and you come up with this shit. And I mean, she might be super talented, but that's the problem also with DJs, you know? When you're playing an instrument, if you play a C, it's a C. If you play a C major chord, it sounds like a C major chord, and you can see what he's actually playing and, you know, relation it, or you make the connection. But when a guy is DJing, people don't actually know many times what he's actually doing. So he might be like mixing like Beatport, like top 100 tracks, and mix them like every 5 minutes with like a very clumsy mix on the breakdown that has no beat that no one really notices. And that's the problem, you know? Like, many people can't really tell if the DJ have skills by viewing, but if people really go there for the music, when they listen to it, they'll like instantly know. And of course, if they're like really into like house music or techno or deep house or whatever, they'll know many times what a DJ is actually doing. And this is what brings me to my original point, you know, what the DJs actually do.
What the fuck do DJs actually do?
DJs used to be really cool guys where they collected all the records with many years, and their best records they took it out to the club and played it. And if you wanted to listen to those records, you had to listen to that, like to go watch live that DJ, because there was no internet, there was no Shazam, you couldn't go and look for the record at the store. I guess you could listen to all the records in the store, but it was like a huge problem to find it. And the main point of what does a DJ do, especially back in the day, it was simple. They had record players, so when a track finished, they had to like either wait for the second part to come in of the side A, or flip it and put the side B. And of course that's gonna take like 10-15 seconds to do it, and all the energy is gone. So that's the whole point of being a DJ, you know, mix these two things together. And when you're doing it with records, with an actual turntable, it's kind of tricky, and you actually need skills, and it takes like a year or to actually beat match and to actually master it takes many years. It's a really nice skill to watch and have and practice, because you actually need this like part of your brain that is not that obvious, kind of like playing an instrument, but here you need to catch on the different tempos, and while they have to be in the same rhythm, they need to eventually be at the same speed. So that's kind of the tricky part. Forward, and then they put a number on the CDJ, so then you know what speed it's on. Fast forward more years, and they don't only have a number, they have like a decimal, so you know exactly what speed is it. So if you have one track going at the same speed of the other track and just hit play at the same rhythm, they will just be synced forever because they're at the same speed. If one is a little bit slower, they might seem to be synced at first, but one will start going faster than the other one. And that's where, you know, time passed by, and you know, they just simply added a sync button, you know, so people can just press the sync button and download the best tracks of Beatport. Not even, they can just look for a trendy DJ on YouTube and, you know, do that. So I think that's just something to consider. And I have a lot of close friends that have been producing for like 10 years, and maybe that's kind of like a little bit of their focus, but I'm just like thinking what wonderful music is out there and hasn't been listened by other people. And while many times it's because the producers like to stay at home and make music. Many times it's because, you know, true passionate geeks of music don't really get the chance because they're busy doing, you know, music. And many times they don't have the time to have the social media, or maybe, you know, they don't have the people skills to be talking to the promoters like a cute girl might do. And this is nothing against women, because I love women in a professional way also, and I respect many amazing artists and DJs, but there's also a lot of bad examples, and unfortunately I think it's like a big trend of models, not only girls but also males, that are getting this kind of like attention, and because of technology it seems that they know what they're doing, and the dilemma might come in, right? So in my opinion, the technology should give you the capability to make much more stuff, crazier stuff, you know, maybe add a third track with a loop of a vocal, and maybe add a sequencer on the fourth channel. I don't know, maybe add the RMX 1000 and play with it, maybe do a live set. My point is that technology, as it moves forward, it will give you the chance to make stuff easier, and it will give you the chance to make much more stuff. And I think that's the approach you should do, like to try to take the more advantage of the technology. I'm not saying add a million effects or add a million, you know, like noises or whatever. I'm just saying don't just sync match the top 100 tracks and fade it like 5 seconds after. Depending also on the type of the DJ you're at. If you're at wedding DJ and you don't care, or maybe you're like an EDM club DJ that doesn't care so much about like old school tracks or like maybe different sounds, then yeah, who cares? If you really have a passion about electronic music, I think you should take it a step forward and always learn a little bit more, you know, like what happens with Grimes, you know. Plan the hair DJ set, kind of expecting the technology to work, and it didn't.
This is a difficult thing to explain, but we're having a major technical error where all the song tempos are double speed, and I have not practiced the math because I'm not fast at math.
And if she would have learned by ear with record players, she would have had no problem, you know? So anyways, I think I've talked too much. If you think it's something interesting to talk about, leave a comment, maybe subscribe. This is the first video I talked to the camera, so whatever. And yeah, I'm going to talk about another video as well, so I'm just gonna record it right now because this is going to be too big. So yeah, I'm just gonna link it in the next one.